What's the most amount of men you've had on a roster at once?
Maybe like 30. It was like my junior year of high school.
In high school, okay. Was it within your high school?
No.
It was another high school?
Up and down California.
At what, 16? 16 or 17?
17. It was right after me and the ex broke up.
How quickly after the breakup did you arrive at 30 on the roster?
That summer. We broke up in March.
Broke up in March, and then what, by May, June, you had a roster of 30
It's like June or July. I mean, it was summer, like hot girl summer.
Did you meet them on dating apps?
Yes.
And you said up and down the California coast.
Just text me on Instagram, and if I found them attractive.
The Pacific Northwest?
I don't know. I'm not like that anymore. I was like that. Not going to blame it on the breakup, but I definitely was a lot more immature last year. Right now, though, I'm like very single, but I'm not closed off anymore.
But you've been dating a guy for 3 weeks.
No, we're not dating.
You're what then? You're
Ew. No, we're just getting to know each other.
No, but you are.
It was one time.
It's crazy how she says that she's grown up so much in a year when it's clear nothing has changed for her. Once a modern woman, always a modern woman it seems, and her ways of the 304 will never actually change. It's always funny to me how women seem to think it's a good idea to trash their husbands on TikTok in secret, and then of course the guy ends up finding out and divorces their ass, rightfully so. It's absolutely hilarious. Let's jump into today's video.
How are men not embarrassed? If my husband made that video about me, I would be devastated. But men aren't. They seem to be just fine with the fact that they cause their wives so much stress when they are around 24/7 because it creates so much extra work for their wives.
Modern wives like this literally despise their own husbands. They call their husbands stupid, worthless, entitled, other ridiculous names. They won't allow their husbands any peace because she must always be a victim, and she spends every waking hour reminding him of that.
They don't care at all. And that's why women feel this way. Women feel this way when their husbands are around constantly like that. That's why all women will tell you it's so much easier when my husband's not around. And it's because they know exactly what to expect. They know exactly what's going to happen. They're not going to wonder whether or not his mood is going to dictate how the day is going to go. They have complete control over what's going to happen with the kids. There's not going to be an extra person that they have to essentially care for, pick up after, and see to.
So apparently the only solution is for the husband to never be around. We must always be working and providing for the household, because if he takes a week's vacation, then it's just a massive burden on a woman who pretty much hates every single thing about him.
There's not going to be any reminding, any delegating, any arguing. There's not going to be a whole bunch of extra work, extra emotional labor, extra physical labor, extra mental labor. They're not going to feel like they have to be the buffer between the husband and the children because they're trying to regulate the children's emotions and keep the husband regulated in his emotions. Men create so much extra work in almost every area of a woman's life. And they don't even care about it. They don't even care to better themselves about it. They're happy to just continue on in this delusion space.
It's interesting how wives like this will endlessly whine about all of the problems that their husbands cause them, but will offer no solutions at all, because there are no problems. So she has to make them up so that she can complain about them online.
I turned 40, and these are things that I would not do again in my 20s and 30s. I would not get married. I met my husband when I was 24, and we got married when I was 29. At the time, I thought that this was like the ideal situation. I'm at the perfect age to get married. But what I realized was in the 4 years that we were married, I grew so much as a person. I graduated from business school, started my own business. I just became such a different person that I didn't feel like he was the best fit for me anymore.
In other words, she started making more money than her husband, and she lost all respect for him, because modern marriages are built on the idea that the husband is only worth as much as the income he's bringing in, and if she's bringing in more, then the marriage failed, apparently.
And I don't think I could have realized that at 29 when I said yes. If I could do it again, I would have allowed myself to have so much more growth in my life before I made a decision on a life partner. And it's really nothing against that partner specifically, but it was more about the direction that I wanted my life to take. My interests by 35 were unrecognizable to my younger self. And I don't think it would have been fair for me to take him on this journey if I didn't think that he was the right partner for the version of me that was to come.
He was good enough when she didn't have money, but the second she got a taste of success, he was no longer needed. She resented him, even though this guy dedicated his life and his home to her. It's insane how little these wives even care about their husbands.
I don't know how else to document things, but this is the ugly side of separation and divorce. When you don't truly understand what is going on, when you are stepping into a new career, and the person that is supposed to be your person is not there to tell you how happy they are for you and how proud they are for your first day.
She's clearly the one who ended things, and now she's turning around and complaining about how hard it is that the guy she's dumped isn't there to shower her with attention over the fact that she got some minor job promotion. She brought that on herself.
When you can't stop crying because you miss their touch, you miss their sarcasm, you miss everything about them, you miss their smell in the morning, you miss their go grab a Red Bulls. You miss every single ounce of them, and you don't know what to do.
This woman is endlessly crying about all of the things she misses about her ex-husband, so it makes you wonder why she even bothered with the divorce in the first place. She brought all of this on herself, and she's not worthy of any sympathy over doing something so stupid.
But this is day one of my journey of being a 40-year-old newly licensed registered nurse who worked her butt off to get here, that is also going to go through a divorce from the person that she thought she was going to spend all of eternity with. So please don't judge if you see me out today and I can't stop crying, or if you ask me how I'm doing and I don't have an answer, because I don't know how I am. I know that I feel empty and I feel hollow, and I am trying my best.
He was working on becoming a registered nurse. That actually explains quite a bit. Women who become nurses are notorious for betraying their significant others. Either that, or they get addicted to unspeakable amounts of substances. Either way, the guy is probably going to be better off.
Do women regret leaving men? Absolutely. But not all women. These are the women who regret it. And usually it's the women who have gone off and had affairs, because that is the wrong way to deal with the problems. If your husband is ignoring you, if your husband is constantly fighting with you, whatever the reason, turning to seek solace with someone else doesn't actually solve the problem.
Considering how many women end up having affairs in their marriages, it really doesn't take much anymore. And it's always interesting how when an affair happens, the thought immediately goes to what the husband did to drive her into the arms of another man.
And then what women typically tend to do, because they're far more emotional than men, when they start an affair, the dopamine kicks in and they imagine they're in love with this new man and they just want to be with him. So then they make the huge mistake. They don't properly think it through. Logic flies out the window. They decide they're going to leave their husband, and in their head, they're moving on with the new man.
The mistake isn't thinking that they're going to move on with the new man. The mistake was getting into the affair in the first place. If that wife sleeps with another man, then the marriage is done. There's no fixing it. She broke it beyond repair, and she has to live with the consequences.
But neither man is interested in that new scenario. So the husband may try to convince her to stay at first. She will then leave, anticipating that the new man is there waiting for her. And frequently he's not. He disappears. I've seen people where the day the woman left, the lover left, and the shock. So then there's a double whammy, because the wife is left thinking, what do I do now? And she doesn't even know what she wants.
That's exactly why modern marriages are a waste of time. These women will end up marrying men they don't even like. They'll get angry, bored, or frustrated, and they all want out. But the second they get it, they realize that they don't have anything to do, and they throw it all away for no reason.
So that takes time to settle down. By the time she's processed her emotions and realised what a huge mistake she's made, her husband's not ready to forgive her. Plus, in that scenario, they haven't actually focused and dealt with the issues in the relationship which caused it to break down in the first place. So Yes, women do regret leaving their husbands, but it's usually the ones who are shopping for something better.
Nobody cares if women regret leaving their husbands. If they destroyed their marriage for selfish reasons, then they aren't worthy of sympathy. And the worst part is, nobody cares what the husband is going through. It's all eyes on the wife who ruined everything.
The ones who leave their husbands because they're abusive, because they're addictive, because the husbands have had affairs, because basically they've been treated like a doormat. No, they don't regret it. They have a huge sense of relief. But the ones who throw away something good when a rocky patch hits because they anticipate they're moving on and up, typically that goes very badly wrong.
It went wrong because they allowed it to go wrong. In most cases, men try their best when it comes to marriage. They make compromises, they work their fingers to the bone, and all men get in return is scorn and criticism. Why would any man subject himself to that kind of treatment in the first place? But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Click this video that's up on the screen now if you want to see more. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.